Hey guys, it's Anne. Welcome to my home worm farming channel. If you're new here, this is a warm, welcoming space where anybody can ask any questions they want to, and I promise you nobody is going to give you crap about it. So what we have here today is the VermiBag Wedge, and it is running similar to Blue, where we have the more finished end of the bin over here, the in-process food here, and then the new food is going over here. So let's take a look and see if it's starting to dry out over here, see if they're making any progress moving the worms out of here, and maybe we'll get a worm ball over here. All right, let me put you down and let's have a look-see. All right. Now, some of my other bins have actually started becoming a little too wet. This one's actually staying really nice. The sides are a little dry, but actually at this side of the bin is exactly what I want it to be. I want it to be a little bit inhospitable, that's easy for me to say, so that they don't want to live here, that they want to move on. So any big chunks or whatever, I'm gonna throw it down there, but I'm still seeing some worms down here, which means they're not unhappy enough to leave. It's amazing how deep this bin is and how much it's holding. I really honestly thought that last time that when I moved everything down and moved it up, that would stay, but yet it did not. It also settled down again by another 4 or 5 inches. So that's pretty amazing to me. I honestly, with Blue, you don't really notice it so much because it's a hard bin. But with this one, what I'm noticing is you really do see that it takes up all of the real estate that it can. Now we're getting into the really wet stuff here. You can still see the bedding, but you can, there's a lot of worms. These European Nightcrawlers have been working really hard. They tend to like the bedding as well as the people food. I don't have a lot of bin critters in this bin for some reason, and I'm not really sure why. It's on an outside wall, so maybe that's part of it. It's a little colder over here. I should probably get some temperature probes so I can tell. All right, let me move you back. All right. So yeah, this is cold, definitely cold. This is me digging in here with my bare hands. It feels cold. Good thing European Nightcrawlers are good almost down to freezing. They may not be eating as fast as they could if it was a little warmer, but they will be just fine and healthy. I don't have to worry about them dying in the temperature here in the 50s. They will be perfectly fine. All right, let's look at the business end of the bin. Okay, so here we are, kind of looking at it straight down. See what we've got going on in here. Last time I think we fed them an insane amount of pumpkin, so let's see how they've been doing with that pumpkin. Considering this is on an outside wall and it is feeling very, very cold to my hands, part of me thinks there might be some pumpkin left over here. Blue is actually on an inside wall right next to the furnace. So even though they're only, a foot away from each other, they could be experiencing very, very different environments. So I'm seeing orange paper, but I'm not seeing any pumpkin yet. Still digging. It goes down a ways. Let's see. Now this is super wet, like super wet, but I'm not seeing where it is that plastic? No, it's not. I'm not seeing where it's dripping. I'm not experiencing any dripping through the bag onto the floor. I actually have a couple of boxes right underneath of here of my seed starting supplies, and I'm not seeing anything that's dripped. So that's kind of good. People had asked me, if I feed something really wet, is it going to just go straight onto the floor? And fair question, because This is obviously the first time I've used this kind of system. The VermiBag kind of goes like this, or this, so it kind of funnels it into a place, whereas this is, it's not completely flat, but pretty close to flat. All right, those guys have managed to annihilate all of that pumpkin in about 3 weeks. So I feel pretty comfortable giving them another big feeding. Not that I think the people who gave me the pumpkin watch this, but I do appreciate people really decorating a lot for Halloween so that my worms can get spoiled. Let's get them a little bit of grit. I'm not sure if I gave them any grit the last time I fed them. And just so maybe this feeding will last a little bit longer, I'm gonna put some worm chow on here. I really kind of expected to see a worm ball in 3 weeks with that huge feeding, and I did not. They had all kind of started to even out all over the place. I don't know if that's the temperature or if they just went that nuts for the pumpkin. So hold on and let me get them some coconut coir to cover up this pumpkin. Okay. Good thing I have more seeds than I know to do with for hot peppers. I don't have to buy any new ones, but I'd be super upset if I lost this many peppers and I didn't have replacements. I had quite a few different kinds of jalapenos, like, you know, the pumpkin spice jalapeno and the lemon spice jalapeno and the chocolate spice jalapeno. You're sensing a trend. My idea was that I thought that it would look really pretty in salsa. Unfortunately, a lot of them, I mean, the yellow one stays yellow, the orange one stays orange, but the chocolate one that I got actually ripened to red, so that wasn't terribly useful. Here we are again, and oddly enough, it looks less full now than it did the last time, so these worms are just going nuts with this extra real estate. So finished, in process, and new. Let's see what they can do in another 2 weeks. This bin is just, the production is crazy. If you can swing having the space to do this, I would highly recommend it. I am enjoying this. Not that I don't love blue just as much, but this is really cool to see the progress of this. All right, well, if you want to see the playlist for the Vermi Wedge, I have a playlist right over there. And if you've already seen that, YouTube thinks you're going to want to watch this video right over here. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me and my worms, and everybody, have a good day.